Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Gold and I'm a stylist and I'm going to be doing more styling content here, so that's what this video is about. I wanted to talk about trends that are happening at the moment, in particular 90s trends, which are definitely resurging, and I have noticed it tends to be the people that have lived through those trends that might not want to revisit them because you've already been there, like myself. Because 90s was part of my childhood and I did live through a lot of these trends, I feel like I don't think I could go back unless the trend was modernized and tweaked. But you know what? It's all personal because we all have different styles, right? So please do not feel offended. It's not a personal attack. If there's a trend that you love and I'm not loving, obviously style is very personal and you're probably not gonna have the same likes or dislikes as me, and that's fine because that's what makes us unique, is our own style. I'm not here to tell you you can't wear it, you can wear it, you can wear whatever you want, as long as you feel good about it yourself. It's good to be picky about which trends you want to follow and which trends you don't, because in the end of the day, I'm all about buying less, choosing well, choosing quality, and wearing your clothes. So for me, it's interesting to look at these trends from that point of view, because in the end of the day, some of them I know I will love, but it's just not going to be a fit for my wardrobe. So we're going to talk about ones that I'm loving and ones that I'm going to give the flick back into the 90s. Let me scooch over a little so I can, and I'm going to be looking at my phone because there is a lot of trends that are coming back from the 90s, but I'm only going to talk about a select few because otherwise this video is going to be an hour long. The first thing I want to talk about, and actually it's because I noticed that these kind of blazers are just coming back on my feed a lot, and I'm not loving it. These are the boxy blazers with the kind of shorter, thinner lapels. And I actually, funnily enough, I have a couple of these blazers. They were my mum's. Now these ones do have shoulder pads. The ones I'm seeing aren't as pronounced shoulder pads, but I'm talking about these ones. Like you see here, the jacket is definitely boxier. These kind of blazers tend to just make your body look very boxy. I'll be honest, the majority of people do dress for their body shape, and then there are people that it's not about flattering the body. But for those that do, I feel like this blazer just tends not to work for a lot of people that need more shape. So if you're like me that has a very, you're straight up and down, these tend to look terrible, especially with the thin lapels. I just don't find that it creates that nice silhouette that the other type of blazers with the large lapels and the V have. And so I'm really not enjoying seeing these back, but I know that there are going to be people that love these ones. To each their own, but not for me. I'm leaving that in the 90s. Another trend that I am seeing, I think a lot of us can agree, was just not good, is the low-rise jeans. I think why high-rise jeans have been so popular is because a lot of people want to give the illusion that they have longer legs than they actually have. Especially if you're petite, like me, I like my legs to look longer than they are. And the low-rise jeans does everything that you wouldn't want for a petite person. I can sort of see, maybe from a comfort point of view, why the low-rise jeans became popular, because you could just let your top half just hang out, and if you don't like the bunching at the stomach and you want the rise to be lower than your belly, then I can see that would be way more comfortable. But I just don't like it. I don't like it, personally speaking. There are definitely brands that I think probably do it better than others. Brands like Dion Lee, I'm seeing, they're not just doing denim, they're doing other sort of pants. They're doing the cargo pant, which is another trend that's coming back. And they're doing it on a low-rise version. And of course, I mean, if you're very, very tall and you've got legs for days, you'd be fine to wear. Because you are seeing it on models and celebrities, but I just don't feel like I'm seeing that on the everyday person. Although it is a trend that I'm seeing back, I'm not seeing like mainstream brands, Nobody Denim, Levi's and all that, bringing back a lot of low-rise styles. At most, it's sort of mid-rise. And I think it's going to stay like that for a while, despite it being a trend that we are sort of seeing sneak back. Speaking of jeans, we've got the acid wash jean. Now, acid wash is definitely a jean that I probably had back in the 90s. Personally, aesthetically, it's not my style. I think that it can look great on some people, but I think that it's not a style that I can envision becoming a classic. Like, it's a style that you will have in your wardrobe for the next 10 years. I do feel like acid wash jeans look very trendy and they connote to a particular time. Like when you look at them, they do feel very retro. What I do like about the acid wash jeans this time around is that we are seeing them in more silhouettes. So for example, one that comes to mind is Ulla Johnson. She's doing like the paper bag jean. She's doing the balloon shape as well with the statement belt. I think that that looks quite modern, a modern take on an acid wash jean, and that's what I prefer, because I think that it's not just taking a trend from the 90s and just reviving it. It's putting a spin on it that I think looks better than what the original was. If that is your particular style and you are slightly a more edgier style, I can see that this kind of wash of jean could work really well. Another denim trend that I'm seeing resurge is double denim. You know, when I think of double denim, I think of the iconic Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake photo when they did the Canadian tuxedo together, and it does make me cringe a little bit, but the versions that I'm seeing today I feel like look a little bit more refined, and so I don't mind it. This trend is being done in a more modern way that I prefer. I tend to like denim just either on the bottom or the top, and I tend to wear denim jeans more than a denim jacket. Would I do it? I'm not going to say I'll never try, because I might, you know, I might try it. What do you think? Continuing on into the realm of pants that we're seeing a lot of cargo pants come back in, and I will say I was really into cargo pants. I had several pairs of cargo pants in different colors and different khakis and browns and tans. You know, I loved a good cargo pant because I feel like it was a great alternative to jeans that still looked casual and gave that look, but it wasn't maybe as restrictive as what a jean felt. So I liked the cargo jeans, but I have to say, since back in those days, I have not actually got a pair of cargo jeans in my wardrobe. If I were to incorporate a pair of cargo jeans back into my wardrobe, I would probably consider something in a different material. So I'm seeing now a lot of silk cargo pants, twill denim. I'm seeing different styles of them, so more relaxed. That is a much more fashion forward type of cargo pant that I would probably consider, because I do feel like if I added the original type of cargo jean, it would make me feel too like I'm going on a hike or something. It does feel a bit like activewear to me, which is just not my style. But I can see that, you know what, I think that this is a trend that a lot of people will pick up again, because it is a in between maybe like a sweatpant and a jean, you know? So I can see that one coming back up, and I'm not hating it, you know, I'm not hating it. Okay, what else? We got platform shoes. We're seeing platform shoes, we're seeing chunkier shoes back in, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot being inspired by Prada, who's kind of brought it back in, the Prada sandal. I'm seeing it everywhere. The chunky sandal's been in for quite a while, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I personally have not got a pair myself. No, I'm actually wrong. I do have a pair of chunky sandals, the Teva ones. They're definitely a nod to the 90s. I don't hate them because obviously I'm wearing them. I feel like from a practical standpoint, platform shoes are great for petites like me, give a little bit more height. And if you do have bunions, which maybe this is TMI, when you want a shoe, you're looking for shoes with very solid soles, so there's not as much movement of the foot when you're walking, and platform shoes provide that really solid sole that you want if you've got bunions. At least that's what my podiatrist has advised me. This is what I check out when I'm looking for shoes. So I give them a bend and see if the sole kind of moves, and if it doesn't, that's great for my foot. And so platform shoes I do like. I like platform Oxfords. I like anything with a bit of a wedge. That's not really the platforms we're talking about. We're talking more of that kind of grungy black rubber platform soles that we were seeing in the 90s. And I actually do like the modern twist to it. This is a trend I'm loving, and I can see that it's got a place in people's wardrobes. Okay, so this is not a fashion trend, but in the 90s, really thin eyebrows was in. Like, we're talking a 1920s style reimagined in the 90s, and it's coming back in, and you know what? I don't hate it. It's not for me. I personally like somewhat of a thick brow because I do think it looks slightly more youthful for my face at least. But I do see that on some people it actually works, but it can be a bit of a controversial one. You know, if you look at photos and you look at someone's brow, you can sort of see when that photo was taken, because brows tend to be very of the time, you know, very trend driven. I think that for certain people's styles, maybe a thin eyebrow can look really cool. I personally am not hating it, but it's not for me. What do you think? Another trend I'm actually loving is mesh tops. I don't think I understood it the first time around, but I get it now. I feel like this is actually a very clever piece to make something transitional. For example, layering a mesh top over a slip dress. I think that it gives you the extra layer of warmth that you could actually wear that during the cooler months with a jacket of course, or a coat. It actually becomes a versatile piece. I mean, I've seen people wearing it just with their bras, maybe to show off a beautiful bralette or something, and I think that that looks really cool if that's your style. So this time round, I'm definitely seeing mesh tops that have a little bit more finer detail. We're not talking about like the mesh tops that were like black and had the very large holes and stuff. We're seeing them in different colors. I love that. I love that we're seeing them in like green and blue and yellow and multicolored, and we're seeing interesting designs added and details added. For example, the raw edges, not the raw edges, they're like I should know this, but it's like when the seam is overlocked. Now, I just think that that looks really cool and fresh take on what it was previously, because I think the mesh tops back then were a little bit different. It's not a trend, again, that I wore, so I think that's kind of why I like it, because I wasn't wearing it the first time round. Like I said, I love styling this because I do have a few over a slip dress, over like a cami or something, or under a dress. I think that it just adds an interesting layer, because I think mesh can be kind of an interesting contrast with texture. And then last one that I want to talk about is leather pants, specifically black and red were really big in the 90s, black and red leather pants. These days we're seeing more vegan options, obviously, as a lot of people don't necessarily want to wear animal products. There's options for everyone now, and we're seeing them in more colors, which I love. We're seeing leather in green, in blue, in all sorts of other colors. The styles that we are seeing have adapted into the 21st century. So we're seeing jogger style leather pants. We're seeing it in different sort of textures, in like snakeskin print, and all these different sort of textures that we didn't see in the 90s. Obviously, technology has gone leaps and bounds since then, and we're seeing more options. So I think if you're someone that couldn't wear or didn't want to wear the tight leather pants, you are seeing them in more relaxed, silhouettes and styles that I think that the average consumer could probably get on board. So those were the 90s styles that I'm loving and leaving. Kind of a quick short one, just giving you my opinions on 90s styles. Happy for you to disagree or agree. What 90s trends are you loving and which ones are you leaving? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below as usual, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next one.